Hello, folks. My name is Justin Race. I am the son of the king, Handsome Harley Race. You're watching Five Star Takes.
Shane, you're not pulling a Just Incredible right now, are you?
No. I'm currently on my bed. No, so I'm not taking a shit on my bed. As funny as that would be.
No, that wouldn't be funny at all because I'd hate to be the person that have to clean that up.
Yeah, that'd be me. It'd definitely be funnier for you, than what it would be for me. That's for certain.
Matt, there's one thing that I learned over the years, especially when my son Matthew was in diapers. I could actually learn that I've grown to learn that I can handle shit more than I can vomit.
You really you don't you'd much prefer to clean up some poop than some puke.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I guess I can see that because like shit is usually like fairly contained, right? You
Mm.
can, you know, kind of get there. Like with puke, it just goes everywhere.
Yeah, and I don't know what it is, but it's like, and yeah, it's just like I learned that it's just like I said, poopy diaper, okay, yeah, no problem. But just yeah, if my son got sick and like puked in his bed or puked on his clothes or somewhere, it's like I don't know if it's just just whatever, the fact that what came out of him was he ingested, and it's just I don't know what it is, but
Well,
it's just
well, I mean, shit is also things that went in him and then came out of him.
fair point. I can't.
Yeah, no, I mean, I get what you're saying though, because like vomit has like a particular scent. It's sour. It's.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
think
it's
that's
it's vile. Now shit also doesn't smell very good. I remember when I was a kid, and I would have a bellyache and would puke for whatever reason. I just never would do it in the toilet. I would sit on the toilet and then just puke on the ground, despite having a like a trash can in front of me. And, and poor Wade would always be like, "Why don't?"
so. Yeah, no, poor boy. So basically, you're telling me, and I can't even believe we're starting out like this. But
Yeah, this is amazing. Isaac's not even here, and this
I
is.
know he's really missing out. So I think maybe that's what it is. We can just be like, when he wakes up, we can be like, see what you missed.
Yeah. The
But
discussion on shit and puke.
yeah, but yeah, oh god, yeah, it's just I don't know over the years and stuff. But you know what, it happens and stuff. But with me though, it's like back when I would get sick, I either would have like a pot, just like if I was sleep on the couch, or if I made sure I had, especially now in my adult years, like if I feel sick, I always try to make sure that there's an unobstructed path from wherever it is that I am to the bathroom.
Yeah, I can't even. I mean, then like I'm sure I'm forgetting something, but I can't remember the last time I like puked, like in earnest. Like I've definitely like brushed my teeth and gagged recently, and like
Yeah,
retched a little bit.
yeah,
But
yeah,
I honestly can't tell you the last time I was like, I'm sick and I'm puking because of it. Like I don't even like I've never even been like a hungover puker. Like I've only hungover puked a couple times in my life, and that's been real. I was fighting for my
life.
lifeblood. Yeah, those were
Yeah,
some particularly vicious mornings.
yeah. I think for me, it was one of the last times I think I either had like the stomach flu or something. But there were, yeah, that's bad stuff. But um, so I definitely. So again, I don't know how we. Well, I kind of know how this got started. It was you doing, whatever that was when we started recording and that. But a little bit of a little peek behind the curtain, at least in my house. Okay, so we're recording this, The Rock is currently on SmackDown, and he just officially announced what I think everybody already knew, that WrestleMania next year is going to be in New Orleans. So, breaking news: WrestleMania 42 is going to be in New Orleans next year.
You know, why can't it be in Columbus, Ohio? We have a big ass stadium.
Well, I know why it can't be in the Chicagoland area because
cold.
it's too cold. No, it's not so much that. It's the fact that we can't seem to, the city of Chicago and the Bears can't seem to get on the same page or whatever to get a new stadium built here.
We don't even need that. I legitimately think the only reason Columbus hasn't hosted like at Ohio Stadium, aka the Horseshoe, the place where the Buckeyes play, is I just think the weather. I think that it's too unpredictable even at that time. Mm-hmm. But the interesting thing is Sonic Temple, the big rock and metal. The big rock and metal festival I go to every year in early May. They moved that up a week, so that's going to be like the first weekend of May. So I guess it's not going to be too far after Mania.
No, I mean, and you're I'm in the Midwest. You're a little further east than I am, but you're still kind of in that general area, being in Cincinnati and stuff. But yeah, this time we're starting to get into that time of year where the weather is really, really unpredictable. And I always like to tell the story of my nephew and I going up to Milwaukee for opening day last year, and we got our tickets for opening day this year. But yeah, no, going back down, driving up there, snow, wind. I mean, it was definitely not outdoor sporting event weather, especially for baseball. But thank God, American Family Field has a retractable roof that was closed, so we did get to see opening day, and they got played. So,
yeah, I mean, I don't really understand why they don't move baseball back like a month, but
they are. Well, see, the thing is then if you start doing that, then you run the risk, especially now with the length of the season, because it starts end of March. Well, in the case of this year with the Cubs and the Dodgers, it's going to start in about just a little under a month, because they're going to be playing a couple of regular season games in Tokyo. But the end of the season that usually wraps up, like the World Series wraps up, it's about end of October, beginning of November. So you kind of start running the risk. Well, if we delay the start of the season for the weather, you kind of run the risk of something happening, at the end of the season, especially during the World Series. If if you're playing in, like, say, in New York with the Yankees or the Mets, or like Baltimore or Boston, or those teams that are, by some kind of body of water just in that upper Northeast, or if you go out, well, no, Seattle's got, I believe, a dome, and Minnesota, I don't think has a dome anymore, but you kind of run the risk and stuff. But I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, they could also just like make the season shorter.
That's something that's been discussed too. And
I mean, because like 100 and what is it, 182?
162.
Yeah, 162 games is too fucking much.
Well, I don't think. I mean, that's basically since I first started getting into baseball, I want to say, and as we're recording, Cody Rhodes is coming to the ring now. So, since I started watching baseball, also I'm known as a 162 game season. It's just, to me, it's just more or less because with, expansion, the the more playoff teams, so the postseason's a little bit longer, and I kind of think that's, stretching out the season and stuff. So, but I mean, I see the points for each and stuff, keeping it as is, but shortening the season and stuff. But I mean, just trying to find that happy medium. But speaking of things that make us happy, NXT makes me very happy right now.
Yeah. I don't mean to cut you off, Dennis. Are we not going to do the intro video? Or are we skipping the intro video today?
My God, I can't believe I forgot to.
Oh my goodness! Too busy thinking about piss and puke. Shit.
Yeah, to piss and puke and forget to do this. I think we're gonna. You know what? Breaking news, Shane. This is gonna be a first time. I'm giving myself one of these.
Oh shit!
Yep, I
That's
earned that
serious
one.
business.
So to make it, I'm gonna right the wrong. Here we go. We are back, and yeah. So going back to things that make us happy, now that we've gotten the official stuff out of the way, God, NXT has been killing it, and every week I say this. I'll say this to you and Isaac in our chat. I'll say that to the guys, at Shooting Shit. Which, by the way, go check out their latest episode that dropped as of recording earlier today. You can find it on their YouTube page or go to the Facebook group to click on the link. But I know we were discussing, and you said you didn't get a chance to watch Vengeance Day, which I strongly urge you do because it was a very good show. I mean, it just showcased how deep, especially that women's division is, because the women killed it. Congrats to Stephanie Vaquer for becoming the new NXT Women's North American Champion. Congrats to Julia for retaining the NXT Women's Championship. Jordan Grace is officially now a part of the NXT Women's division. Men killed it too. Oba Femi looked amazing. Fraxium continues to show why they're the best tag team in professional wrestling right now. And we've got the debut of this new mystery group that some people are calling the new Retribution, possibly a new incarnate version of the Shield. Who knows? We'll see what happens. But very good show. If you guys haven't watched Vengeance Day and Shane, go watch it because it was really good. But let's move on to NXT's weekly programming because it was another really damn good show with a lot of surprises.
Yeah, no, I mean the show opened with Moose showing up, which was pretty shocking. I mean, to be honest, he opened the show interrupting Oba Femi, challenging Oba to a match, and yeah, I mean it seems like they are on the fast track to setting up TNA versus NXT, and I've seen some rumblings online that they're gonna make that this show at Stand and Deliver.
I wouldn't mind that at all, and I mean,
yeah.
And I mean, and NXT fans who have never had the chance to see Moose in action aren't going to have to wait long because it was announced that coming up this week on NXT from your neck of the woods in Cincinnati, Moose will be defending the X Division Championship against Lexus King, and I think that literally sold the hot one, Giovanni Tuhati. He's actually making the trek to Cincinnati for that show, and I believe he's also going to Raw the day before.
That's that's quite the haul for Jovan. I mean, that's because since Cincinnati is about an hour and a half from me, and he's about 3.5 hours from me up there. Yeah. I mean, that's about a 5-hour John. Yeah, no, I mean, I would love to go. I honestly just didn't know it was in Cincinnati until last Tuesday, and it's not super feasible, but that's all right. Hopefully it'll come here at some point. I saw the black and gold when it was in Columbus.
Yeah, I've unfortunately never had a chance to attend an NXT show when they had the debut show on the CW in Chicago. Unfortunately, got stuck at work and couldn't take the night, get the time off to go. Eventually, I hope
Here's
to hit an NXT show and stuff. But I
here's
mean,
a really fun game for you, Dennis. I know because I'm looking at the poster right now. I'm gonna read you the card from. I mean, I've seen NXT live a couple times. I saw it once at the Arnold when it was like the first show out of Full Sail. And it wasn't really a show. And then this one might have been I don't know, like the day before. I can't quite remember. It doesn't matter. Here's the card. So the opening match was Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano versus the Vaudevillains.
ooh,
You had Peyton Royce and Billy Kay versus Eva Marie and Nia Jax.
ooh,
You had Asuka versus Alexa Bliss.
ooh.
American Alpha versus the Revival.
Oh, now
And it's
those teams, you want to talk about two teams that gelled together and always put on banger after banger. That was those two teams right there.
for sure. You had Sami Zayn versus Baron Corbin.
Okay.
Bailey versus Emma.
Okay.
NXT Women's Championship match. And then the main event was Finn Balor versus Samoa Joe.
Ooh.
What year was this from, Dennis?
That had to have been 2000 and I'm trying to think. The NXT Women's Champions match, that was Bailey versus who?
Emma.
Okay. I'm gonna say that had to be. I'm gonna say that had to be 2015. Okay, it had to have been 2016.
Yeah, it was 16. It was really early 2016. It was March 3rd.
Okay, yeah, I figured it was in that area, just because of whatchamacallit, because I'm trying to think of when Bailey was a champion and stuff, and like listen to some of those other people, like because obviously Sasha, Becky, and Charlotte had already got moved on to the main roster at that point and stuff. So I was just trying to play. So
Yep, and it was before Asuka was champion.
mm-hmm.
She was on the winning streak. Yeah, it was a great show.
Yeah.
But yeah, back to NXT that we're not going to. Yeah, I mean, I really hope that they do end up pulling through with that TNA versus NXT show. I feel like it would be a ton of fun to see. It would open a lot of people's eyes on some TNA guys. And also the Hardys are back in the WWE.
Yeah, and I mean that's a big shocker as well too. And I mean, and the thing is, it's just not TNA guys coming to NXT. NXT guys are going to TNA. Like I haven't had a chance to finish the episode, but I was watching Impact, and I know for their show Sacrifice, which I believe is the day after or the day before Elimination Chamber, so a week from today as of when we're recording. I know whatchamacallit, God, I lost my train of thought here. Oh, Wesley and his two guys he's hanging out with now, I think it's DuPont and Igwe, are going to face the Rascals and Ace Austin in the 6-man. I know Cora Jade's challenging Masa Slamovich for the Knockouts Championship. And it's so great seeing these, men and women getting to go even more places to showcase and hone their talents and stuff. And I already feel like that this partnership between WWE and TNA will like
But
be,
is there something going on, Dennis? What are you doing?
I'm listening. The Rock and Cody are talking, and I'm trying to kind of lip read and stuff while trying to talk. So I apologize for if I look distracted and that. But so I'm trying to think. Okay, so this is what I was going with, and then you kind of snapped me back into reality. And now I'm back. I don't know. It's been a long work week, but I feel like that this partnership between WWE and TNA has paid off so much more for TNA than when they worked with AEW, because it
Well,
seems like
the partnership with AEW did nothing for TNA. I mean, other than Kenny Omega holding their belt, but he was also holding 15 other belts at the same time.
right. I mean, yeah, he had, what was it? He had the TNA championship, he had the AEW championship. I think he had the triple A mega championship, and then I think he had one other championship too. He basically did what Mercedes Moné is doing right now, walking around with all those belts.
Yeah, the belt collector.
Yeah. So, but
Yeah,
I mean, it's so,
popularized by the great Muda.
yes. Muto. I love my favorite Japanese wrestler of all time.
But yeah, NXT is exciting.
So, it is, and like I said, it continues to prove to me why it's the best weekly wrestling show out there, in my opinion. If you had to hold a gun to my head and said you can only watch one wrestling show per week, what would it be? For me, I would answer, no questions asked, no hesitation, it'd be NXT.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's either that or Raw for me, certainly. It's not Dynamite.
So, yeah, it's definitely not Dynamite and stuff because, yeah.
Yeah, we do need to pause for a second, and I normally try to tamper the AEW hate that would come from Isaac, but there was something truly detestable that happened on Dynamite this week, and that is Thunder Rosa had probably the worst run in pro wrestling history.
Oh my God, I had heard about it, and then when I actually saw video of it, I was like, "There's no way." When I heard about it, like, "There's no way it could be this bad." Then when I saw it, I'm like, So I
Yeah, so
know I would love to hear, and I don't know if she's going to address it or not next time she's on co-hosting Busted Open, but I would definitely be interested to hear her take on what exactly happened.
yeah, no, I mean, because it was weird. It was a match between Kristen Statlander and Megan Bayne,
Yes.
who I believe is going to be a very, very big player for AEW for a long time. Megan Bayne is pretty good and has a great look.
Excuse me.
But
Absolutely, and she carries herself so well. And I was actually at an independent show with my friend, friend of the show, Ty, and I was this Megan Bayne was there, and I said to him, because he follows a lot of people on the indie scenes, and stuff, and he's especially very passionate about women's wrestling and stuff. But I was telling him that I felt there was just something about the way Megan Bayne presents herself and carries herself that just I was in awe.
yeah, no, I mean, she's great. I've seen her wrestle for GCW a couple times.
Yep.
Which, speaking of GCW, it'll be in Chicago at the end of March, Dennis. If you can make it out to that, I highly encourage you to do so. It's always a great time.
Yeah, I've been to one GCW show in my life, and it was it's such a damn good show.
Yeah, I believe Matt Tremont versus Mance Warner has been announced, and that should be that should be fucked up.
That's gonna be violent and
yeah,
bloody
it's gonna
as
be
hell.
really violent. Yeah, I bet you somebody's gonna get hit in the head with a chair.
Yeah, well, it couldn't be any worse. It couldn't look any worse than Thunder Rosa with that run in.
Yeah, no, I mean it. Yeah, but the match ends. Megan Bain, I think, continues attacking Kristen Statlander or something like that. Kristen, who won? Did Megan? Did Megan win?
beat Chris Statlander. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
yeah. Then continued
5.
attacking her.
And
Thunder
I think
Rosa makes the save.
Penelope Ford came out was like
Oh,
helping Megan,
yes, that's
and
what
then
happened.
Thunder Rosa came out with that
Yeah,
save.
yeah. With the chair, enters the ring, and is like half threatening, like Megan Bain with the chair, and then Megan's like not selling it at all, and they're just kind of like Thunder Rosa's kind of like running away with the chair, but trying to look intimidating, and then just nothing happens.
Well, see, that was the thing, and I kind of, I feel like, and again, this is where I would like to get the, Thunder Rosa's take on what she was expecting to happen. But I almost feel like you said, when you kind of hit the nail on the head with Megan Bain no selling it, and I think her not, not retreating or whatever. I think that's I wonder if that's what originally was supposed to happen, and Megan's like, no, that's not what my character would do, and she just kind of on the fly or shoot, changed the thing, and unfortunately, kind of screwed over Thunder Rosa.
Yeah, no, I mean, because Thunder Rosa looked like an idiot.
Yeah, we definitely know she's not an idiot.
Yeah, no. I mean, and like, I guess the thing that sucks the most about it is Thunder Rosa has done the hardcore shit on AEW before. Like, she's bled buckets on television, So like, that her character knows how to use the weapon, and she just chose not to. Like if it was a random other girl, maybe it's like, oh well, she's not known for that, But Thunder Rosa is. Yeah, no, it was. I mean, I people are definitely blowing it out of proportion, but it was pretty legendarily bad.
It was. I mean, don't be surprised to see that on Botchamania or something.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was just strange. I mean, it was strange and real. Like, something is really bad when it was really weird to the point of being awful in like when it was live, and then you watch it again, and it's still this same this same level of what the fuck.
Right. Yeah. It's just, and I mean, and it's a shame because there's like, but I'm always someone that likes to try to find, the good. I'm a glass half full guy, but really, it's so hard to find anything. Like the only thing I can think of, like, if someone were like, "Hey, tell me one, good thing about AEW, or give me one good reason to watch AEW," the only thing I can think of, or wrestlers that I can think of that really would make me want to watch AEW is Tony Storm. And are you there?
Yep. No. Sorry about that. I had to blow my nose.
Okay.
Yep, my bad. And I have a
you're
mustache,
good,
so I like to do that off of.
I get
Yeah, no, I don't know. I mean, there's definitely good things about AEW, and like, there's definitely good wrestlers. Like I'm a big Hangman Page fan, big Swerve Strickland fan. I think both of those gentlemen, are top tier. I legitimately think that AEW has 2 of the top 5 in-ring workers in the world, maybe 3 of the top 5.
And who would they be, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, I mean, Osprey and Kenny are the 2 obvious.
Okay.
You haven't seen it as much, but I mean, Okada is always up there. He just hasn't. They haven't done the hour-long Okada thing quite yet.
I don't think. I mean, the only time I could see that coming to be the case with Okada would have to be if they do Okada versus Omega at All In, which is like the big rumor.
Yeah, I mean, but he can go on. I mean, I could see other guys he could go along with. He could
Oh
easily
yeah, there's
go.
a lot of guys he could go along with.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but it's just strange shit that continues to plague the show. The fact that in the opening segment of Dynamite, you have this way, way, way too long promo that starts off with MJF, and MJF is being the heel, being the, just same MJF that he's been for like 6 years now. And then Hangman comes out, and the crowd is cheering Hangman, who is, as of like 5 weeks ago, killing Christopher Daniels.
And then let's not forget that, like, a month or two prior to that, he burned down Swerve Strickland's house.
Yeah, house. And the crowd is cheering. I mean, they're cheering Hangman because he's being poised as a babyface. Which the whole time I'm just like, he's not a good guy right now. Like, he's probably, like, honestly, he should probably never be a good guy again. For the things he's done. And then you have MJF, who's supposed to be, the most despicable, biggest heel in the company forever now. And he's like, yeah, this guy stinks. Like, like, you're booing me, but this guy burned a guy's house down. And I'm like, yeah. Like, I'm sitting there just agreeing with MJF.
Right. No, he was spitting truths in there.
Yeah, and that should be something that, I prefer a believable heel. I prefer a heel that that is grounded in reality. But MJF, who 2 minutes earlier in the promo was, talking about the local sports teams and mothers being fat and, all of that. But then I'm sitting there going, yeah, you know what I mean? And then I'm sitting there like 5 minutes later and going, you know what? I think that MJF should beat up, Hangman Page. And then Hangman goes into like a 5-minute diatribe about how great of a man Christopher Daniels is and how MJF shouldn't say anything bad about him. Again, after like 2 weeks before that, literally ending his career and brutalizing him. It's stuff like that I'm just like, it's so tough to get invested in Dynamite weekly because
yeah, I think I was watching it. I had it on. Then when I got home from work, and then my son was sitting on the living room with me, he wanted to watch SpongeBob. So I put, being dad, I had, as much as I wanted to watch my wrestling, I had to put on SpongeBob. So I kind of went back and forth between watching it and watching SpongeBob with, my son. And then he went to bed, so I put it on, and then I think I stopped it or something, and I think to go use the bathroom or whatever, and then I got back, went and sat back down, and then I think I just passed out on the couch and woke up. Woke up in the morning and was like, "Do I really want to watch the rest of Dynamite?" And I just kind of went, online just to read the results, just to see was there anything worth watching, and there wasn't. So that time I set aside to watch. I was going to watch Dynamite before I, had to get my son up, get him ready for school, get myself ready for work. I ended up putting on Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man from Disney Plus, which is a phenomenal show. I just finished the first season yesterday, and it's, if anybody that's out there, Shane or whoever's watching, if you like Spider-Man, go check this out. It's a very cool cartoon.
yeah, not me, but I'm sure somebody will.
Oh yeah. But I mean, yeah, so enough about hating on AEW and stuff. But I mean, like we talked about NXT and just how great it's been. Again, we're kind of getting there in the WrestleMania season here shortly. We got Elimination Chamber next week. Stand and Deliver's coming with the possibility of the TNA versus WWE. And then obviously the TNA show coming up, Sacrifice, which is going to have a lot of NXT involvement. It's just, we may, I don't want to necessarily say shit on AEW because I don't think we've done that. I think we've explained why it's just not much CTV for us and stuff. But I just feel like it's such a great time to be a wrestling fan because there's something out there for everybody. We're seeing things that we thought we'd never see. I mean, going back to when you were talking about Obafemi show, and are being confronted by Moose at NXT. I know when this whole crossover thing first started, a lot of people, including Jovan, who's a huge Moose fan, said that that's something they'd want to see, Moose versus Obafemi, and we're gonna get it. I mean, we got Jordan Grace versus Roxanne Perez. Back when this crossover first started. Obviously, again, now we got Jordan Grace full time in NXT, but we're getting Cora Jade versus Masha Slamovich at TNA Sacrifice. It's such just I love this stuff because, like I said, it's just we're seeing things we thought we'd never see.
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see if they start doing stuff more with the main roster too. I think that it would be really interesting to see, the whole "you're fired" thing come back and see guys that maybe they want to, write off television for a little bit, get kayfabe fired and then go show up in NXT. Just to fantasy book a little bit. How much fun would it be if, because I think they are pretty clearly setting up for Seth versus Roman at Mania.
That's what it looks like. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Roman beats Seth. Seth has a meltdown, quote unquote, kayfabe walks out of the company. He's gone for a month, and then he just shows up on TNA and he's like, well, I've heard that the forbidden door is open and I'm done being over there. So I'm coming over here,
Yeah. And obviously we get that last run, because obviously AJ Styles, who basically built his career in TNA, doesn't have too much longer left. And I think he's gone on record to say that. I would love to see him have an extended run in TNA one more time.
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, or just go work a program,
Right. I mean,
one last 2 months worth of, TV and, up to a pay-per-view. But
okay.
yeah, no, I mean.
Oh, so. Yeah, no, finish your thought. I'm sorry. I was thinking of something else. I just thought out loud for a second.
Oh, no, it's fine. It's just, yeah, I mean, I hope that they don't limit it just to NXT, and I hope that they have enough faith in, TNA to put some of the higher level,
I get what you're saying. And I think there is, because, I mean, there's a lot of guys in TNA that have history in the WWE. I mean, you look at Nick Nemeth. You look at Matt Cardona, Brian Myers.
Fandango.
Elijah, who just signed with TNA. He was on TNA this week. And obviously Joe Hendry made an appearance at the Rumble.
JDC.
Yeah, JDC. I mean, then there's guys like Eddie Edwards. I would love to see Eddie Edwards mix it up with some of these WWE talents.
Yeah, I mean there are a few very notable names in TNA that have never spent any time in the E, and there are definitely some tantalizing matchups.
And that's the beauty, and that is the beauty of what we're seeing really with this crossovers, where, like you said, we can play fantasy booking. Now, for me, what would be the icing on the cake is if, obviously, we've got WWE 2K25 coming out in a couple weeks. If they had now, I would love for them to have, with one of their DLC packs, I would love to see them have some TNA wrestlers, because that would be a game changer.
I see what you did there.
You did, huh?
Yeah, no, I mean it's cool. I mean, I think that I think that there's definitely at some point going to be diminishing returns for WWE, but I do believe that if they empower the the relationship and they put their effort into it, it'll be extremely mutually beneficial for both parties.
And I think we're in an era where that is as much has just about as good of a chance of becoming reality as it ever had. Because obviously, if Vince McMahon were still running the show, then none of this would be going on right now.
No, not a chance.
And I mean, and then also too, I mean, we're talking WWE. I mean, they've got all this new programming. Do you get a chance to watch LFG yet? That definitely recommend that. I think it's going to be. I think this show is primed to be what Tough Enough should have been. And then also too, they've got that new WWE Evolve show that's going to be premiering on Tubi in a few weeks.
Yeah, they're pumping out a bunch of different content, a lot of different streams, a lot of different ideas. They've got speed that they're doing. Obviously, main event is still a thing somewhere, along with their 3 normal weekly shows.
I want to excuse me. I want to say, if there's one thing that, like, if I had to change one thing I think about WWE right now, I think I would put SmackDown back to 2 hours, which I know I hear it's supposed to be happening soon, but maybe it's just because it's at the end of the week. It's Friday night. I've worked. I work a Monday through Friday 9 to 6 job. By the time Friday night rolls around, I want to kick back, eat my Friday night dinner that I get from this little place right down the street from my house called Wheaties. An amazing food. The guy people that run it are awesome, and stuff. But like, I sometimes I labor to get through 3 hours of SmackDown now, and that's not meant to be a slight on the product because it's been good. It's the end of the week. I'm so burnt out at that point in time. I think, like I said, I would change. I think I would put SmackDown back at 2 hours.
Yeah. I mean, the 3 hour show has been long debated, and there are a lot of people on both sides that feel strongly about it. I personally am almost always a fan of the longer shows, as long as the product is good.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I mean, I would be remiss if I wouldn't say that I haven't been enjoying the extra half hour of sleep I've been getting on Mondays. So
yeah, I think right where they're at with the roughly around 2.5 hours for Raw and Netflix, I think that's perfect.
Yeah, no, I mean, but they're just at such an advantage on Netflix because they can just let things run.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have to worry about time constraints. I mean,
yeah,
but and stuff. But I mean, obviously, I don't want to see like a 3.5 or 4 hour Raw every week, because I think that would just be way too much, and it's just.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, there's definitely too much, and I think 3 hours a week for a show is towing that line enough that anything more, unless it was, like a special thing.
PLE,
You know what I mean?
Like the PLE pay-per-views, whatever you want to call them and stuff. I agree, but I just feel like with Raw, I think they've got the sweet spot at 2.5 hours.
Yeah, I mean, it's because to me 2 hours it's almost too little time, especially if you have a big enough roster and you want to try and give the segments that you've booked an appropriate amount of time with commercials. I mean, yeah, that can be pretty tough. Yeah, 2.5 hours has definitely been good.
And the nice thing is too, with this Netflix not really having any kind of time constraints, it's really nice because if something goes long, I mean, they still may trim it a little bit, because I'm sure they don't want everything to go long, because then
you're AEW.
Right. But it's nice that they have the luxuries, like, okay, this last segment went 5 minutes too long, and back in the day that meant somebody's match was either getting cut down in time or just getting cut completely. That's less likely to happen now, and I think that's great, because it stinks if when you're what on a show and you're like you're slated to perform and you're going to have a match, and then just and you're all ready to go and everything, and then all of a sudden so producer or whoever's in charge, back in the day, be Vince, be like, time constraints, that interview segment was way too long, so unfortunately we got to cut your match.
Yeah, no, I mean it allows, the plans to happen, to the best of their ability, but it also allows, if a match is hot, an extra minute or two could, you know, really put it over the moon. So, it definitely allows a little bit of breathing room, which is great.
Always great to have, because it that's less pressure on the performers, that are in the ring.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
Well,
go ahead.
I was gonna say, do we have anything else, or do we want to put less stress on the performers, on the pod and make it a shorter episode since
You
a
know
third
what?
of us are here?
I think between the puke and the poop,
Yes.
and then transitioning, talking about NXT, spending time in AEW, Raw. I think I got everything that was discussed. I think I got it out of my system. So I
Yeah,
think I'm good.
a little bit of a slower week this week, so not a.
Yeah.
You know.
So hopefully, excuse me. Hopefully next week when we record, we can try to do it at a time where Isaac can join us. And
Yeah,
stuff. And I mean,
we'll see.
the
I
way
mean,
it
we
is.
could probably do it at 8, and then he would pass out at 6:30. So
Mhm.
it just, it just, yeah. I mean, you might see Isaac next week, you might not. But regardless, I've been Shane, and that's been Dennis.
It has been Dennis, and that's been Shane. If you guys stayed with us to the end, especially after we started out with puke versus poop. First off, God bless you, and thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great weekend. Oh man, that was. Oh, I guess we're gonna start it the way we or end it the way we started it with. What was that, Shane?
Ah.
Legends of the Ring Sting, man. This is a great figure, old school figure. Looks great. It's Sting! Old school Sting from WCW. Guys, you know us, 3/4 of the Shooting Shit team, and we're here with a listener just like you guys. This is Jimmy from Super Powers Comics.
My friend of almost 20 years. He's known him since you were 12.
If you know people in Chicago, you probably know Dennis because he knows half the town, of course. But shooters, if you need action figures, comics, wrestling memorabilia, we just showed you Sting. Superpowers Comics will put up their QR code so you can get a good look at everything they have coming. Give it a shot, shooters. Get your superpowers on and get your comics from our friend Jimmy, who listens just like you.
Attention wrestling fans and fans of Shootin' Shit podcasts. You can now be one of the cool kids by going to ProWrestlingTees.com and buy the official Shootin' Shit t-shirt. Buy it now and be there at ringside.
This episode and all episodes of 5 Star Takes are now available on YouTube at www.youtube.com/@5StarTakes. Be sure to like and subscribe. Get all of your 5 Star Takes news and updates by going to our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/SHOOTINSHT. And as always, thanks for watching.